Homestead exemption is a big deal here in Texas. How do you qualify? What's it going to do for you? Hey, stay tuned. It all starts right now.
3, 2, 1, 0.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I am so glad you've chosen to join me today. We are talking about homestead exemptions in the great state of Texas. It's straightforward information, and if I happen to confuse you, I apologize and encourage you to call me or text me. Alternatively, since we're talking about homestead exemptions, you can reach out to the county appraisal district where the property is located. Again, this is fairly straightforward, so try not to overcomplicate it. In order to qualify for a homestead exemption, you need to have paid for the house and moved in prior to the year for which you're applying. It's 2021, so if you bought the house and moved in last year before January 1st, you may qualify. What if you bought the house in 1997 and are just now finding out about a homestead exemption? That's a great question. If that's the case, that's definitely before 2021. Side note, if you applied for and received your homestead exemption years ago, that should still be in place, but you can go to the county appraisal district for validation to make sure it's there, or you can contact me. Another thing you need to do other than residing there, other than owning it, is you need to reside there principally. That needs to be your primary residence. If you have other houses, maybe vacation homes, the principal residence is where the homestead exemption would be placed. And you can only have one homestead exemption. Don't worry if you sold a house last year, you lived in Texas, and you sold the house. When you signed all the closing documents, the title company or the real estate lawyer will have filed the information, or should have filed the information, with the county, and that homestead exemption will go away. So you will only have one homestead exemption in place. I do need to let you know that you could be denied your homestead exemption for simple, silly reasons. If you go and apply and the address on your ID does not match the address on the application, you might be denied. It does need to be Texas issued identification. So if you're holding on to your out-of-state license, I certainly would. It's time for the change if you want the homestead exemption. Which brings me to the question, what is that? Well, a homestead exemption was put in place across the state to ensure that the value on your house or on your residence was limited when it came to the tax valuation. It doesn't decrease the taxes specifically, it decreases the basis of the tax. Maybe that's confusing. I'll be glad to explain if you call or text. You can file online in a lot of the counties. I know you can in Travis County. I know you can in Williamson County. In Hays County, I'm pretty sure that you cannot do that, but it's a simple process. There are companies out there that will do this for you. I'm telling you that it's a very simple process, and you can save yourself a lot of money by doing it yourself. If you don't want to do that, that's fine, but that leads to a second point I want to make. That point is, this is a non-disclosure state. Whether the county or somebody who's working on your behalf asks you how much you paid for the house, that's right, you do not have to tell them how much you paid for the house. Now, we haven't talked about other exemptions like disability or over 65. That's another subject for another time. This should have covered the homestead exemption rules pretty well, but if you've got questions, let me know. Who should file? Everybody should file. Why should you file? Well, because it reduces your financial burden for the state. One last point, you have from the beginning of January until the end of April, so through April 30th, to file for your homestead exemption. Some counties have extensions beyond that. There's no process. Just contact the county and say, hey, what is the deadline? If you think you've missed it, maybe you can get that done sooner. Hey, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you being here. I'm Tom Catlin. I encourage you to call me or text me with any of your questions. Have a great day, a great week, and we'll see you soon.